Welcome everyone to a late edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. Had some technical issues. We planned on doing a camera show today. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through to it, so we're gonna have to just stick without dealing without seeing our ugly mugs for yet another week. Of course, I got the Hardcore crew thing. First, from the Southern Realms, we have Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Nothing much. You know what? Nobody wants to see our ugly mugs anyway. But we are here, and we got some big news coming out, so let's get to it.
Yep. And of course, from Lance Moss TV, he's the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, what's shaking?
Not much, and this wrestling news keeps getting crazier.
Oh, no shit, no shit. All right, you know what, guys? Well, let's get into the main event where Cody Rhodes will, in fact, be facing Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Now, this story's had a lot of weird twists and turns. When Cody first won the Rumble, he pointed at Roman Reigns, and it was obvious that was his pick. And then, CM Punk got injured, and everybody thought, okay, well, with CM Punk getting injured, maybe they might have to have The Rock come in, which he did, and it got promoted. And fans went nuts. And then all of a sudden, people didn't want to see Rock versus Roman. They wanted to see Cody versus Roman. And The Rock painted first, Joe. He called them the Cody Crybabies.
You know, I would have to agree because I do not want to see Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. I'm sick of watching Roman Reigns. I'm tired of seeing the finish the story. I'm sorry. I'm not on that Cody bandwagon. If anything, I think a way better match would have been him and Roman Reigns. So obviously they chickened out on it. They should have just kept it with The Rock versus Roman, the head of the table on the line, belts on the line, and have Roman go over to kind of cement himself as his status, because Rock can come and go. This would have cement Roman as the figure of not only the company, but as for the Rock's family, for the Hanoi family. So they should have done that and have Cody win that other belt that his father never had, because Roman has a garbage belt. He has the Universal title. Like, I don't see you battling Martians. So Cody should have gone for Seth Rollins WWE World Heavyweight Championship, win the belt that his father never did, and then go forward with that. So
yeah, I absolutely agree. Hold on one second. We're going to bring in a Zoe Nightshade. Lance, your thoughts on the Cody situation?
With as insane as the fans went, they didn't have another damn choice.
Well, I wouldn't say they
change it. But no, when they're getting nuclear heat to the point where The Rock's daughter's getting fucking death threats, there would have been a riot in Philly. And I don't mean in the typical wrestling riot. I mean, that motherfucker might have there might have been police called in and shit.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't think that would have happened.
I agree.
You see, you know what they just did? They just kowtowed to a bunch of whiny motherfuckers. And if this was the case that The Rock's daughter was being threatened, not saying that it's not important, but they could have called the cops to investigate, find whoever did the death threats, and boom, you're gonna fuck them over. I think WWE just kowtowed to the crybabies, took a good match that could have cemented Roman, and just said, "Oh no, we'll just give the fans what they think they want." Now if Cody loses, which he's not going to, honestly, they could have had. If I was the fans now, I'll be saying, you know what? Now for your stupidity, now watch, Cody's not going to go over just to fuck with the fans.
Well, I don't think the plan was for him to go over anyways. And that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Right now with WWE, they've been making these weird changes back and forth, and it seems to be they're making changes to what the fans want to hear. And that's something I hate to say, but Vince McMahon never did. He had a plan. He went forward whether they liked it or not. You know,
Do we have our luscious, vicious vixen in here?
she is not even in Skype yet,
Uh,
so I can't bring her
okay.
in until she jumps into Skype.
All right, but yeah, Rick, I honestly believe that they should have never bowed down to this. I think they should have just gone and dealt and just let this. They should have let the match go and just let Rock doing it. You would have had a bigger WrestleMania moment if they would have just let it go. Obviously, it's just ridiculous. So it looks like today we're having all sorts of technical issues.
Yeah, Skype is being a bitch. What the hell is going on? Next thing I gotta tell us we're not streaming, and I know we are because it says we're streaming. So
I can see. I see it because there's Terry 3G that says evening.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Terry. Yeah, unfortunately, Terry. Again, we apologize for the no camera because we were all set for it. I even paid a camera for it, and I bought one, and we had this working post show, Joe. We had all of us down the bottom of the screen, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty good idea, and then all of a sudden, bang! Today happened, and fuck you.
Yeah, it's just didn't want to cooperate. So
there she is.
There's the Zoster.
Welcome, Zoe.
I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on.
It's Skype acting the fool today.
Yeah, because it said try to bring Zoe in. I'm like, she's not even online.
I was looking, I was sitting there waiting. I'm going, are we doing the show?
We do the show every night. Every Wednesday night we're going to do this show. But we were just talking about how now Cody will in fact be facing Roman Reigns and how they brought The Rock in, and there was this weird little dance. 1 minute The Rock's going to face the Roman Reigns. Next thing now he's sitting in his corner.
So. Shit. WWE doesn't know what the right hand's doing and what the left hand's doing. Honestly, it should have obviously been Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. The Rock should not have been brought into it at all, because I'll say it like I did last week. If they would have had it, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, Roman would retain. The Rock's not going to come back to full-time in-ring working, so there'd be no point in taking the title off of him. And everybody's sick and tired of Roman being the champ.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's more, like I said, politics, and I guess TKO, I don't honestly think they don't know how to realize that they say, you know what, we can't please every fan, so we just have one story, we go with that story, and we move along. And, I personally, like I said, Roman Reigns, as Joe said, could have easily beaten The Rock, proven that he needs to move along, and that it was sustained him more as a tribal chief, but...
Here, again, this is how I would have booked this. Let Roman Reigns face The Rock. It would have been the battle for the Universal title and the head of the table. It would have been a split within the family. Like the elders would have stood in Rock's corner and stopped the sons and cousins and uncles and bitches, whoever, from interfering. They would have said no. Like, I would have loved to have seen Rikishi, Alpha, Sika, see all the real, like the legends of this family, stop them from, because that would have stopped the Usos, that would have stopped Solo Sika. You would have seen nothing but, okay, you know what? This is a family issue. Let them fight it out. The winner gets whatever belt, and completely put Paul Heyman out of it, put him in a little cage, hoist him up, old Memphis style, and let these guys battle it out. And obviously, it would have been Rock is the better worker. Roman is mediocre at best. Rock does the better promos. Roman does no promos because he's an idiot. When it comes down to it, all the betting polls would have put Rock winning this. I would have done the big switcheroo by skill alone, by battling it out back and forth, have Roman win cleanly, and Rock embracing him, put the little flower things over his head and say, thank you. You are now the head of the table. And Roman hugs him back, thanks him, and moves him away from there. Fans would have been surprised. He would have got his way. Everybody would have had, Roman would have looked strong. Rock would have looked strong. The family would have been united. And that's it. And then that story can finally close at another show. Cody, the belt that Roman has is meaningless. The belt that Cody wants to win for his dad was the belt that Seth Rollins currently holds, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. It is the Federation's heavyweight championship, dating back to the WWF, dating back to the WWF. So that's the only belt Dusty never held outside the NWA. So that should have been the focus there. That would have been a better competitive match between Rollins and Cody, and that would have been appease everyone. For the idiots who are threatening The Rock's daughter, shows that they got fucking balls to try to take on a defenseless woman who has nothing to do with booking, but because they're marks and don't understand that this is choreographed and this is staged, that they don't realize that, okay, they're just doing this to get more revenue and more eyes. The Rock being there, more eyes, more tickets sold, more pay-per-view buys. That's how wrestling works. Now, because of stupid people, now they got to change. You're probably in this match. I could tell you one thing, and I'm going to cut it in a few minutes. You're going to see Cody finally win, but you're going to see Jimmy or Jey Uso, whichever Uso is not intoxicated. You're going to see one of them. You're going to see Solo Sika. You're going to see Paul Heyman. You're going to see all these people beating the shit out of Cody plus Roman, and Cody's going to get that miracle win. And then you're going to question, well, why didn't this schmuck do that in the last couple of times they battled?
Well,
thank you, Marks, for fucking ruining a show.
Yeah. And I have to agree with you on a lot of points because I mean, this is the first, I can't say the first time. Cody's been in here, the WWE for what, 2-3 years now?
2
years, and I think he's starting to earn those stripes. And a lot of people think that, you know what, he could carry a belt, and he could have taken the title off of Roman. I think that was the original plan. But I think we talked about this before, when CM Punk got injured at the Royal Rumble, how the fuck does that happen? But we're talking about Punk here. They kind of had the story empty for Seth Rollins, and that's why they tried to pitch it. But when The Rock first came out, fans were cheering. They were going crazy for it. And then all of a sudden, they had to wake up and then they had to, wait, hold on, we don't want to see The Rock. We talked about the fans being fickle. They proved it time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move along. Former WWE star Billy Jack Haynes was arrested following a tragic incident involving the shooting of his wife. Portland officers responded to the fatal shooting of the home, prompting a shelter-in-place order for the residents, whatever that means. Officers encountered a non-cooperative individual who was still armed on the premises, who was Billy Jack Haynes. After negotiations, a tactical team took the 70-year-old into custody without further incidents. Lance, Billy Jack Haynes shooting his wife. Yeah. What else? It's crazy.
This bastard's been out of his fucking mind for years. I mean, hell, he's been known on shoot interviews saying that the reason that Chris Benoit is dead is because Vince McMahon was the biological father of Daniel Benoit. The man's about 3 fries short of a Happy Meal.
Sounds like he doesn't have any fries in his Happy Meal.
Yeah, about right.
Zoe, your thoughts?
What the hell, dude? I mean, but I feel for his family and the friends and everything. My condolences go out to him. That's a awful thing that has happened. I want to know why. I want to know his reasoning. Why? What was his reasoning for taking the life of somebody?
Okay. what I've heard is that his wife was suffering from severe dementia, and he didn't want her to suffer anymore.
Okay,
Oh, fuck. Then let's put the girl, you know what? Let's put the old girl to pasture and just shoot her. Fuck.
True.
I would have said shoot yourself if you don't want to deal with it.
Exactly. I mean, they have homes for people going through dementia whenever their loved ones cannot care for them. Why not take that route? Why not get an in-home nurse to come out and help you with that? I get that you don't want to see a loved one suffer, but that gives you no grounds to kill them.
Yeah, there is no. Unfortunately, when it comes to any murder, there's rarely an honest logic to behind the actions. Joe,
I
final.
think there was more to
Go
it.
ahead.
I think there was more behind it than that. I think maybe possibly he's using that partly as an excuse.
That's also true. I mean, if you realize that shit, I shot my wife and cops who arrived on scene before I could even figure out what I'm gonna do next, then yeah, apparently it might have backfired. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, he probably thought she was Hercules Hernandez and was trying to get the full Nelson on her. And that didn't work. They thought it was WrestleMania 3 all over again. First of all, I'm going to address this really quick. You got to be a sad motherfucker to shoot someone who is, one, your wife, a loved one, and who's suffering from something that is beyond their control. It's the most cowardly thing you can do. Billy Jack was also roided up. He was definitely out of his mind. For someone to do this and then expect that nothing was going to happen. Only in wrestling can you hear this shit. And only in this fucking country can you see morons do stupid shit and think they're going to, it's normal. Just prop her up in the chair, think it's the movie Psycho. Mother, no. Fuck the fucking idiots. Rick, I hope he gets good time. He gets put away for good, because anybody that does that, it's one, of a coward, a two, very sadistic and sick in the head, and he needs to be executed. If it was me in this country, folks, I would say, you want to fucking kill someone? Okay, you kill someone. Guess what? There's no life in prison. There is no free ticket in the cell where you can watch TV 3 meals a day. No, motherfucker, you're getting the electric chair. Hold this metal fork and let me put the hot dog on it so I can eat something. Let me get something positive out of your execution. So, my opinion, this fucker, they should just get rid of his ass and let's move on. Again, only in wrestling. It's and only in this world. Fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. I said a whole bunch of shit, and I haven't heard Lance say, Joe, let's go down. No, wait.
I think we all agree with you.
Yeah, so we're all moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, let's go to that fucking beast, Nyla Rose, or whatever her fucking name is. Yeah, Nyla Rose.
Unfortunately, we don't have any news on her.
Yeah. Well, they could have put her wiener in that fork while
Well,
they
we have another one we can talk about that you love.
Now it's Joe at ScotiaFilm.com. But
I'm
before
sorry,
that,
folks. I had to do that.
We're on the right track, Joe.
Yeah, go ahead, guys. I had to bring this up, but go ahead, Rick.
Well, Fightful Select continues to report that. I'm sorry, wrong spot. There's more talk on Mercedes Moné signing with AEW. Legends like Booker T and Matt Hardy have already said the former Sasha Banks will be signing with the company. Tony Khan also released a teaser last week on Dynamite. If you can see it, they're having big business, and the way they have Boston spelled is BOSSTON with dollar signs. Now, first and foremost, I have a biggest bitches. That's not how you spell Boston. But other than that, it's clearly obvious, Joe, that Tony Khan fucking tipped his hat, and now we know we're going to see Mercedes Moné in AEW.
I fucking wasted my rant on Nyla Rose. Now I had something to fucking rant about. So let me crack my knuckles here. First of all, I don't understand why they're even interested in this little bitch. She's not worth the shit. She's overrated, egotistical. That's her personal shit. She's never done anything worth it. Yes, okay, she's had some great matches with the people that helped elevate her. Honestly, if it wasn't for Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, she wouldn't be up on that pedestal. She can't do it on her own. The only good thing that she fucking, and not even a good thing, the only reason she's in wrestling is all because her uncle is Snoop Dogg, who's a questionable motherfucker as it is. So
I don't know. I like Snoop Dogg. I don't like rap, but I kind of like Snoop Dogg.
yeah, I don't. I just say fuck him and fuck anybody in his family. Anyway, my thing is this: it's a waste of money. She's not going to bring you an extra ticket in that seat. Fans are going to be just like with Saraya. They're going to get tired of seeing that little twitch. They're going to get tired of seeing her running around. She's going to demand a belt. I guarantee it. She's going to win a belt in record time because she's going to say, "Oh, I'm Sasha Banks. I'm Mercedes Moné. I want to win. You want me to sign this contract? I'm X amount of dollars plus a championship reign. I guarantee it." And for all the women who are in that AEW locker room who applaud Sasha Banks coming in, you are the most stupidest bitches I've ever heard. Because if you think that's great, these are the same women who say, "Oh yeah, having fucking Saraya in our company is going to elevate us." It hasn't done shit for you guys. Maybe there's been secret orgies that Saraya's been getting into. That's probably the only positive thing for the guys in the back. But no, fucking Mercedes Moné does not need to be there. Put her back where she belongs in the gutter and get away from her. You build your talent. This is what it slowly is becoming WCW Nitro again. Tony Khan thinks he's Eric Bischoff. and it's coming out with all these announcements.
I think Eric Bischoff would highly disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I watched a documentary with Eric Bischoff. He did a lot of good things to bring the company WCW out of the red that it was with what's his name from Mid-South, Bill Watts, from fucking the stupid Pizza Hut guy, Jim Hurd. You know, he changed the company in '94, and when they got into Nitro, he did a hell of a shit that we all enjoyed. But Tony Khan is completely out of his fucking mind, constantly bringing these stupid, worthless little bitches and assholes who don't contribute $1. You're probably going to get one or two views, maybe one extra seat. Thanks, Uncle Snoop Dogg, for showing up. Pass the joint around because that way people think I'm actually a good worker.
All right.
Fuck Mercedes Moné. Go ahead, next person.
All right. Zoe, your thoughts on Mercedes Moné possibly, most likely signing with AEW in the next month?
I just gotta give a hallelujah to Joe. He preached it all. I 100%
get down on your knees, my darling. Get down and you need join me and pray. Let's say hallelujah to everybody out there.
But
I agree. You.
I agree with absolutely everything Joe has just said. He spouted straight up facts about this. She is okay. There are girls currently in AEW that need and deserve a push. They need and they deserve a title run. I mean, bringing in Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, whatever. She's not a Stone Cold. She's not a Rock. She's not a Lita. She's not a Luna. She's nothing. She is absolutely nothing. You are not going to benefit from this. This is not going to shoot your views up. You know what you're bringing in, Tony? You're bringing in a piss break.
Yeah, you know.
She shows up there. Every match that she's on, that's going to be my piss break.
Yeah. And, you know, the thing is as Joe was pointing out earlier, there's so much more talent in AEW, and he keeps on bringing back these former former WWE talent. And, you know, some of them have worked out, you know, and like wrestlers like Sting, who's been there since day one. It was worked well. You got Matt Hardy. Okay, whatever. And then others. But then you try people like CM Punk, and it didn't work. It failed miserably. And then I think, honestly, if Jade Cargill had gotten a better push, as opposed to being the longest reigning, it was a TBS champion, I think if she won the women's AEW champion, I think she might have stuck around a little bit longer.
Well, look at Sky Blue. They were giving her a push. She was actually showing up and showing out. And now they're like, Sky who? Oh, she got a big booty, but Sky who?
Actually, Sky Blue actually showed up on Collision.
Yeah.
I get that. What I'm saying, though, is they were pushing her to the point to where she was almost getting ready to having her own belt.
Yeah, and that's the thing I've noticed with people like Sky Blue and Red Velvet. These are wrestlers. They'll push them one week and then they drop them the next week. It's like, when they get right to the cusp, they drop it.
Well, here's the thing. You start building up these talents, and shit, here is Saraya. Oh, here is Ruby Soho. Oh, here's Timeless Tony Storm, which is the retarded gimmick. You bring now it's the WCW syndrome. Here is all these former WWE people are coming in, and they're stealing the spotlight, and everybody in that fucking locker room is okay with it. Oh, it will help the company, and that's probably what Tony Khan preaches to everybody. Oh, it's great for our company. We'll get more eyes on us. Okay, I understand you guys have been here from day one, but you ain't drawing me a dime, so let's bring these fuckers in and see if they can draw us a dime. That's the wrong message to be in the locker room. There's a famous story. Eric Bischoff, they said Eric Bischoff was in the locker room and said if it wasn't for Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, and I forgot who was the other person, and Kevin Nash, that the rest of you never drew a dime. So that was a slap in the face to Sting, Luger, the Nature Boy, and all that. It's the same thing going on now. These people have no concept. Tony Khan should leave the wrestling company to the people who know what the fuck they're doing. Get rid of Monet. Get rid of Saraya. Send her back to porn. Get rid of Timeless Tony Storm. Hopefully somebody does the same thing to her that they did to Marilyn Monroe, because Lord knows I don't want to see Timeless Tony Storm anymore. The gimmick is stupid. The lady is stupid. She can't wrestle. Fuck you. Fuck AEW for bringing in these fucked up bitches.
All right.
Jamie Hayter, we need them back.
Jamie Hayter, actually, she's out for indefinitely. Unfortunately, she's dealing with some kind of injury, and there's no time as to when she could be back. She might never be back. It's kind of like a situation with Kenny Omega. Not necessarily the same.
And Britt Baker, who's been gone.
Britt Baker has actually chosen to step aside to give other people the push.
We need her back.
Well, that's the thing.
It's time to come back home.
Well, that's the thing. For so long, people were bitching about her standing in the spotlight. Oh, well, you know what? You're taking up everybody else's spotlight. So she said, you know what? Fine. I'll step back. I'll work behind the scenes. And the rest of you guys can have at it. Lance, we haven't even heard you chime in on this whole situation about the former Sasha Banks coming into AEW.
Well, I can make Joe say that this is not a 100% bad idea for her to come in. It might be a 97% bad idea, but she has said that she wants to wrestle Saraya again. So, third time being the charm, she might break her neck again, and now there's Saraya gone.
Damn. You know what? She needs to go and find two schmucks in the locker room. Well, probably every schmuck in the locker room, and cream some belts, because that's the only good thing Saraya is good for.
As long as she keeps her hand off of Moxley, I'll be all right.
Fair enough. All right, guys, I think it's time for us to move along. Now, another person who could possibly mostly be making his way to AEW is Okada from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Is saying he could be signing them in the near future. But over the past couple of months, there's been mixed reports on which company Okada would in fact go with. Lance, Okada coming to AEW. He's worked with the company before, so I think he would gel a lot more easy as opposed to the WWE.
Absolutely. I mean, he can still wrestle some matches for New Japan every maybe 5 a year, maybe, because let's face it, a lot of the AEW stars do some dates over there. And let's just be straight up. Look at the way WWE books their Japanese talent. Really? Shinsuke? I love Shinsuke, but they book him like hell. So he gets better booking in AEW, and he can work in Japan some. So it's a win-win for him.
But I think we're also dating back to the Vince McMahon era, where he pretty much, if you're in WWE, that's it. Anybody else, there's no other wrestling promotion, so we can treat you the way how we want to treat you.
Yeah, I mean, but look how they're treating Shinsuke now.
Very true. I read a report that WWE could be working with Stardom, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
But again,
that was before they kicked out their owner.
I heard about that. I was reading part of it. I read the whole article. I guess some of the former people from Stardom. I guess he wants to leave, and he's probably gonna take half the roster with him. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay, I did read that. So, but either way, I would like to see Okada in AEW only because one, I like him, and I primarily am an AEW wrestling fan. I watch WWE here and there, not that much, but enough for when a pay-per-view comes around, I can follow what's happening. So, Joe, your thoughts on Okada coming with WWE? I mean, sorry, AEW.
Yeah, he's a great worker. He's obviously, this is a good opportunity for him because, like Lance said, he can go back to Japan, get some extra dates over there, work, and come back and forth. My only thing with Okada, one, he can't cut a promo, obviously. The language barrier there. And for the average fan who doesn't know New Japan, they're going to see this guy walk down and, okay, who's this guy? It's not like there's no flash. There's no substance. There's not something that screams, I am Okada, love me or hate me. He basically, when he walks down, he's very plain. So they need to do something with him that, unfortunately, WWE would do it better. They would give him a whole fucking pyro set, probably put him in a dragon suit, have him come down in a cloud with lightning coming down like he's Dragon Ball Z. They would put the glitz and glamour behind him. In AEW, he would just walk down, Okada on the screen. Who?
Well, I tend to disagree with you there, Joe, because I would, he doesn't come out with pyro. He comes out with usually golden dollars or something like that. Confetti. Thank you, gold confetti, yeah. Because his nickname is the Rainmaker. So I don't think wrestling fans and for the most part knows who he is. I mean, if you've watched Forbidden Door, you know who Okada is.
Exactly, but again, while we know him because we follow wrestling and follow New Japan and all that, we've seen him. Honestly, when he comes down to the ring, I'm like, meh. Okay.
Really?
The golden shower. What is this?
Oh, golden shower.
They need to. Again, he needs something much more oomph. I hate to say it, but even it's like he doesn't. The average fan would turn on AEW and say, okay, they do 50 million spot moves, and the match hasn't even started yet. They got 50 countouts. They have 52 kickouts at 2 after doing fucking every move that you can literally, fucking kill another opponent. Might as well run them over, see if they kick out of that. But with the character, I mean, like if he needs something that makes him stand out, because to me it's average Japanese guy coming down, and I know his background. I know he's a great worker in the ring, but he suffers a little bit in the ring against American opponents because they have to get used to his style. He has to get used to their style. So honestly, he needs that little oomph to win the fans over. Look at Shinsuke Nakamura. Perfect example. Fans loved him when he came in. The fans that knew New Japan knew him. Oh yeah, it's Shinsuke Nakamura. First time I saw him, I did not know anything about Shinsuke Nakamura. And I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Man. And after a while, he grew on me. But then they do the up and down with him. So you lose interest in Shinsuke. And he's a guy with talent. Okada, again, big name in Japan, great. You're an average fan who's never seen wrestling before. You turn it on, average Japanese guy, meh. He's dropping little whatever golden dollars like he's Ted DiBiase. Meh. Okay. That first attention when he comes out is what really gets people going. That's what gets everybody going. So once he comes out to the ring, everybody's going to the bathroom. Once he's in the ring, your eyes are focused. They need to do something that sparks him up. He needs that oomph. You look at his face. On this picture, he looks like he passed a bad fart, and that's his mean face.
Well, there are a lot of people in AEW who, in fact, has worked with Okada. They've worked in New Japan even before AEW was even a thought. Lance, what's your take on all this?
Well, one, they can always say he's the man that broke Bryan Danielson's orbital.
And I'm sure that we would like to see, fans could definitely make another story of that. So I don't see why this would be such a bad thing. I think it's going to be a great thing. Zoe, final thoughts?
I think that would be a good idea for him to sign with AEW so that they can take him seriously. As far as him himself and everything, could he use a little bit of polishing to kind of make him stand out just a little bit more? Yes, he could use that little bit of a push, a little bit of polish to make him stand out. If he does come over, regardless from New Japan, wherever he goes to, whoever he signs with, he does need to take time and he needs to train with an American wrestler to kind of show them how we do things over here, and vice versa. He can show them how he does things. Get him ready, for every match that he's going to have, set the stage for it. What's going to happen? What these guys know? What do you know? Stuff like that. So, honestly, I think it'd be great to add him over to AEW. I could see him thriving in AEW.
I absolutely agree with you wholeheartedly. But let's move things along. Since he's been gone from the WWE, Matt Riddle has pretty much jumped all over the indie scene. He worked over New Japan Pro Wrestling. I believe he won another indie world champion. I think it was called the One World Champion. Yes, it was Combat One's Wrestling One World Championship. But now it looks like Matt Riddle could be working with TNA. In a recent interview, he has said right now he has his hands in everything, and right now he's currently talking with TNA. Zoe, your thoughts on TNA, on Matt Riddle possibly signing with TNA?
Don't do it. For the love of, don't go TNA. You ain't even gonna get paid in food stamps. Don't go TNA.
All right. Lance, your thoughts?
This is proof Riddle's still on pot. Because he's got to be high off of his ass to sign with the no paying jabroni company known as TNA.
All right. Joe, have at it.
Folks, don't you love it? He gives Zoe, we get the woman's opinion first, and just to hear the voice, it's worth it. Then you go to Lance, he says his bit, And then Rick puts me last because he knows I go on a whole mile of unwinded, rants.
And he hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, I know, and I haven't even started yet. Anyway, bro, one, obviously that's the only place that's going to take him. Maybe AEW was finally woke up and was realizing, let's not bring this fucking jabroni in here. He's, again, that's probably the only place they could put him. Is the guy talented? Yes. He reminds me a little bit of a young Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him the props now. He's got the body, he's got the look, but his mouth sometimes gets him in trouble. His little side gigs, his little smoky stuff gets in the way.
Pot's legal last time I checked.
Well, God damn it. But anyway, the whole thing with him, he just irks people. So obviously TNA say, look, we need to bring somebody. We need a former WWE person. We just lost Naomi. Let's get somebody else that can help bring us back up. We'll give him 2 food stamp cards or whatever money to keep him in here. We'll give him a bowl of cereal too on top of that. He must love bowls of cereal. Let's give him a whole box of slippers or sandals. That'll work. And maybe a little what is those things that he was riding on? The little carts or whatever the fuck?
Little scooter.
Yeah, a little scooter. Let's get him a scooter. He'll love that shit. He's got the mentality of a child. So, it's good for him if he gets paid? Yes. Because nobody else wants his ass. So is it good for TNA? Possibly not, because he's going to come in and he's going to be another one. Hey, I'm a former WWE guy. Give me my championship belt and my paycheck. Thank you, bro. He's as annoying as fucking Vince Russo with that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, what? I can take this. I have to agree with Lance. Matt Riddle is entertaining to watch. And you know what? Outside his outside business shit, what wrestler have we not seen act like a complete drunken idiot, or even towards other people, and still be with the company? Yeah. This was because the company had just started to switch hands, so they had to make an example by somebody, and I think that's all it was.
I mean, with Matt Riddle, for me, just the way his gimmick was, the way his persona was, him being the idiotic pothead, yeah, it was funny for a time. But as time went on, it just aggravated me. And in the WWE, there's only one room for one for a dumbass in there for it to succeed, and that's R-Truth.
Legend.
Yeah.
I would rather watch R-Truth every night on SmackDown or Raw than watch anybody else currently in WWE, because at least R-Truth is fucking entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Scooter Boy here with the fucking beach sandals. I'm hoping he goes parasailing and he gets a Brutus Beefcake done to him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe that'll fix his face. Remember the cartoon SpongeBob when Squidward got hit in the face and he looked like glamorous guy?
I don't, but I'll take your word for it. Okay.
That shit happens.
Where Mo got done the same way. Mo got hit with like a falling shelf or something, and he turned out to be a good-looking man.
Exactly. Maybe by hitting Shayna Baszler, maybe by hitting other ugly women in ugly places, he could probably fix his fucking face. Probably do his brain a little bit of fucking good too.
Oh.
Let's just say it. Fuck Matt Riddle. Fuck TNA if they're willing to pay for him. That's great. Make sure those blank paychecks clear and give him a belt. So at least you can say we got Matt Riddle and we gave him a belt.
Well, it's worse. He could have been worse. He could have gone to AEW, but I don't think Tony Khan's interested at all on Matt Riddle.
Well, he'll probably do it. The locker room say you bring him in and we're gonna beat your ass.
Probably. All right, guys, let's move along to another topic. For almost a year now, there was a lot of talk about Drew McIntyre possibly leaving the WWE. We knew that he had waited all up until like the very last minute, and his contract was supposed to expire this month. But according to PW Insider, it looks like McIntyre has in fact re-signed with the company, as he's being promoted to be in a show in Italy coming May. So either he signed some kind of an extension, or he just decided that to re-sign, and he's getting his deal. Zoe, your thoughts on McIntyre?
Oh, you don't want to know my thoughts on McIntyre.
Oh, maybe I do.
Damn.
Just saying. As far as his contract goes, I'm glad that he stays in WWE. That way, if I do decide to watch WWE again, I at least get to look at that.
Listen, young lady, don't you have that closet full already? We have to.
I can't. I got Mox, I got McIntyre, I got Hook, I got Wardlow. I'm running out of room, guys.
Well, with Little Mac, you could probably put him in a drawer and he'll be happy with that.
All right.
By the way, fuck Hook too.
Yeah, and we know how much you love Hook. Lynch, your thoughts on McIntyre most likely staying with the WWE?
I mean, he's basically a main event guy on Raw, so they'd be stupid to not re-sign him. Here's my take on the whole he said, she said, whose contract's coming up, whose contract ain't, especially with the WWE. Remember that there's about a span of about 10 years where every damn year Ziggler was going to get released.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, granted, he just got released, 18 months ago, but...
They were saying it for decades.
Yeah. So...
All right. And going back on Terry 3G said Matt Riddle isn't Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody call him.
I was going to bring up something about Drew McIntyre, but then I saw Rick over in our chat room on Facebook on the Wrestling Rants. You have a picture of Sky Blue. Now, normally, folks, I don't like little small-breasted babes. You know, I kind of like the girls with the boobs. But in this case, that's a damn. I could go for that.
She's hot. Now, she's a little hottie.
Oh yeah, she is.
You know, absolutely. And
you know why? See, why can't they push that? Why do you got to worry about Mercedes Moné, who has no body, who looks like a young boy?
She's not bad looking. All right, you know, you don't want to.
Sky Blue is 10 times better. Now,
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Notice I pulled this away from Drew McIntyre, so let's go back to McIntyre.
Just keep fire away from Sky Blue. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, you know, Drew McIntyre is a very gifted guy. He's got the moves, he's got the build, he's got the height, he's got the promo. You know, he is just in a spot where there's so many people in WWE, and he's done it all. That what else can you do with McIntyre? It's that type of syndrome. You know, he's already been a world champion, even though nobody really saw it. You know, he's been there before. He's feuded with everybody. There is really no one left, for this man to fight against. You know, you can't keep going back to Sheamus. You can't keep going to Roman Reigns because the family will interfere. You know, maybe a feud with Cody if Cody wins the belt. That could be a great thing.
There's also a feud with possibly with CM Punk. That's
like
how
I said, take him. Yeah, I think Drew would just boot him in the face and Phil will get injured so fast. Honestly, WWE is stupid not to keep this guy. They need to sign him to a lock, stock, barrel, make the money worth his while, give him a good contract. It's easy schedule. He can come and go, wrestle a couple times, then disappear, come back, give him a good opponent, give him Cody, don't overburden him because he already's done so many things. He's won so many matches and titles that there's really nothing left for Drew. So
I think when it comes to with any wrestler, You could say, yeah, he's already won that championship, but for them to go back and say, yeah, for another championship and win it longer, who's going to say no to that?
Oh, absolutely. But you need the right opponent for it.
I
And I
agree.
think in this case, if Cody wins any belt, that should be Drew should be his main champion. That should be his main challenger. Get
Well,
him a good run, then let Drew win the belt, or let him knock off the other champion. So I think right now, if I was McIntyre, negotiate your contract really seriously well, and let's put this like say, hey, guess what? I want X amount of dollars. I want a easy schedule. I want a championship reign. There you go. And a Zoe detector, so I know she's coming to get me. Uh,
Well,
over in the chat room, Terry3G said McIntyre's only issue is his back problems, and that could affect him after his wrestling life. And that's another issue, guys. We've seen wrestlers who have wrestled longer than they should have. Terry Funk, who passed away, and his knee had bad knees, and but he still continued to wrestle. That's something you really don't want to fuck with. So I don't know the severity of whatever his back injury or back issues are, but if he winds up getting a bad bump on the wrong back the wrong way, you're in a wheelchair for life. So
yeah.
but that's why he demands an easier schedule, so he doesn't have to kill himself. He's proven he's that one guy in the elite circle. He is on that top level. He doesn't have to prove himself no more. Now it's like a matter of collect a paycheck. I'll wrestle once and get the Roman treatment. Give me a paycheck. Give me an easy schedule. I'll come in, do my matches, and then go away until you really have something for me.
And again, time will tell. But we're gonna move along. Now that CM Punk is back in the picture, there have been talks about. I'm sorry. People are asking if Stone Cold Steve Austin would in fact get back in the ring. During a recent interview, Stone Cold was asked that very question, and he didn't say yes, but he didn't say no. He pretty much in short said, well, if the stars aligned right and everything's in the right situation, I could see it happening. So now, Lance, this was always like Punk versus Stone Cold for years. This was like a fantasy match that people wanted to see, similar to Sting and Undertaker, which never happened. So what's your thoughts on Stone Cold coming back for that one more match against Punk?
Well, I mean, one, Punk would not do the shit he did in AEW. He'd have to do what Austin said. But also, do we really want Stone Cold's last match to be that sack of shit we saw at WrestleMania last year? So it's kind of a win-win.
You know what? I have to agree with you. We all want to see these wrestlers like feud, but the problem is Stone Cold isn't 30 anymore. He's 57.
Yeah,
he's
but
not...
he also went on against somebody that was, well, he was now facing charges, but look like they couldn't wrestle their way out of a damn paper bag.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Zoe, your thoughts on Stone Cold coming back for that one more match?
I want him to come back for one more match because I am a big Stone Cold girl. I love Stone Cold. To me, whenever I started watching WWF, he was like the anti-hero of all anti-heroes to me. He knows how to play the bad guy. He knows how to play the good guy. Well, not necessarily the good guy. I did want him to come back for one last match, but it ain't going to be against CM Punk because CM Punk keeps getting hurt every time you turn around.
Yeah, no kidding.
I would love to see Stone Cold to come back and face off with somebody more deserving than CM Punk for his last match. I don't want his last match, like Lance said, be that shit show at WrestleMania that we saw. I want it to be something that is worth watching. I want it to be something that almost will bring a tear to my eye whenever it's over, and me saying, you know what, that was my hero and that was his last match. He did amazing in it. So did his opponent. I'm glad that I got to see it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Terry 3G said that Zoe will be making room in her closet for Stone Cold.
Whenever I say I'm a Stone Cold girl, I don't mean wholeheartedly like that. I mean, I respect the man and I respect all the years that he gave to wrestling. He is one of the big guys. If we had a wrestling Mount Rushmore, personally to me, I would put Stone Cold on there.
Come on, Lance. Let's get the nails and the hammer. We got to make Zoe's closet bigger.
Yeah. Especially because, well, I don't know if I should be telling Zoe this. Drew McIntyre does live east of Nashville, right?
I gotta go.
Yeah, we'll see that. We'll see it just like O.J. Simpson in the white Bronco. We'll be seeing that there'll be Drew McIntyre tied up inside a pickup with his feet dangling and wiggling, while Zoe's got this look like
I'm too short to even reach the pedals of a pickup. You'll be looking for a Buick Enclave.
All right. Joe, final thoughts. Stone Cold comeback, possibly face CM Punk. Is this a match we need to see?
No. You know what? If there's one more match for Stone Cold, if there is one more match for Stone Cold, it damn well won't be against CM Punk. If anything, I say give him one more match against The Rock.
Yes.
Let's have the Attitude Era match. Let's end all be all. Win, lose, or draw. Let's have this Legends match and let it be at the biggest show of them all, WrestleMania. If Rock is not wrestling Roman, then let's get Rock to take on Austin one more time. Let's make it a good, easy match, but let's get it in there, and just them standing in the ring will be worth more to the pay-per-view marketing for ratings than fucking Phil versus Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest with you, I think Punk wouldn't be more worried about getting injured. He's gotten injured 3 times in the past year and a half. I think it was his pectoral was once. Now I know
ankle.
It's his ankle, and now that his which one was it now? I've lost count.
That's just he's accident prone. Meanwhile, Steve has had trouble with his knees, but he's and a stinger from Owen Hart Power Driver. May he rest in peace. But this is a man that battled back and can keep going. He took time off. I'm sure if you say, Steve, we want you for WrestleMania, your opponent's going to be The Rock. This is the money we're going to give you. Well, goddamn, son, as long as I got enough beer, I'm going to be fucking going and give The Rock some going to beat his candy ass left and right. I'm going to open up a can of whip ass. That's, yeah.
I think obviously I don't want to wait for another year because that would mean Stone Cold and The Rock's another year older. I think if they would do it that way, which is a great idea, don't get me wrong, I think it would have to be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, or you know what? No, it's we're in middle of February. Get Steve to go to the gym. Let him get into the shape. Let him go. Let him put it in this WrestleMania. Let's add a real fucking good match to this lousy card that they have already, and let's put this as a semi-main event. And I guarantee you, whichever night they put it on, it's gonna sell more tickets. They have more eyes than any other match in any other day, because WrestleMania is 2 days now.
Unfortunately.
I guarantee you a Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, it's going to be so huge. You want to take it one step higher? Put fucking The Undertaker as the referee. Now you really got fucked
I don't think Taker can get up and down like that.
Yeah. Well, then put somebody else in there as a special referee, and I guarantee
I'd have to say Hunter.
Yeah.
He's a part of that Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And you know what? right there. Hunter's your special referee. Stone Cold, The Rock, WrestleMania. Make it happen. And guess what? Not only is I could just see both Rock and Austin turn and look at Triple H with a big grin on their faces. I could see a rock bottom followed by a stunner. And that'll finally put Mr. McMahon out of the business. And yes, Mr. Stephanie McMahon.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to wrap up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank Terry 3G for hanging out with us once again. For those of you who are listening, if you want more of HWR, please check us out at our Wrestling Rants chat room on Facebook in the group section where we post the latest news, rumors, the babe of the day. Tonight, I will be covering AEW's Dynamite, so you be sure to check that out. Joe, you're over at Skull and Realms. What do you got going on over there?
Well, you know what? Come check us out at WWO Live. Our show's coming up. We are a virtual wrestling promotion. We do everything from backstage interviews, pretty much skits and interviews. The guys also and girls do promos, so it looks like a real wrestling show. We got our WWO Live this next Saturday, the 24th, at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Go check us out on Twitch. You can also see us on Facebook. You can see the reruns and the matches on there afterwards. But definitely, it's going to be a hell of a night. We got a lot of things planned for that night. So again, check us out. Do the hashtag WWO Live. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
And Zoe, I know you got a lot of things shaking you up. So what do you got going on?
Okay, so this Saturday, TSW is making their grand return to our home in the Corbin Civic Center. This night is going to be spectacular because every single match will be inside of a steel cage. There will be a battle royale inside of the steel cage. The Modern Day Viking, the one, Colt Wilds, will have an open challenge for the belt. You guys don't want to miss this. It's going to be a great show. All proceeds are going to go to our fallen brother's family, Marcus Williams. May he rest in peace. Come out, have fun, bring the kids. And I'm excited to announce that starting next month, I will be bringing back the Nightmare Vixen Scary Stories live on Facebook.
All right.
There we go.
And finally, Lance, you're over at Lance Moss TV. What do you got going on over there?
Right now, it's just Lance Moss TV and Friends Coffee Time every Tuesday night at 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern. We shoot the shit for roughly an hour, hour and a half. So, yeah, and we never know who's going to show up, so come on over and check us out.
And there you have it. So, for the Hardcore Crew, I am your Hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
Buy this shirt!